Hi, I'm Tina Cummins,
I'm Belinda Powers, and we are.
True Crime Sages. Welcome back to our episode. We're going to be discussing Summer Wells, episode 9. Um, we have a lot of thoughts as of what's happened as of late. Now, Belinda and I, we don't get involved in the drama necessarily. We've had some drama of our own from Mr. Heather Smith. We'll discuss that a little bit later, but right now, we want to talk about what's happened in the past week and a half. So apparently, Don and Candace decided that they were going to put out a fake arrest / fake crying phone call, acting that Don was arrested by the FBI and taken to Boston. And, apparently in this video, Candace was supposedly all upset and everything. We both have a lot of thoughts on that. What are your thoughts, Belinda?
Oh, I thought it was very distasteful. I mean, to say the least, I thought it was disgusting. I can't understand the mindset of this mom and dad.
Right.
Even fathom the idea to even come up with that. I mean, to even come up with this charade that they're trying to play here. I don't understand.
What is their purpose behind it?
It's a game. It's like a game that they're trying to play. I don't get it. I don't understand it. So I have no words when it comes to even. I can't get in the mindset of them. I just can't. I don't understand it.
We talked quite a bit about giving the parents the benefit of the doubt in spite of the past. And I think we've been more than fair up to this point, trying to give them every opportunity
Right.
to deny harm to their child. Kept an open mind, trying to keep the justice scales even. And at this point, I have to say, for a set of parents that are so willfully misleading the public when they have a 5-year-old child missing, that is beyond comprehension.
It is.
A lot of things have come out about Don's history as far as predatory behavior. But what's clear, I think, at this point is the total control and narcissism and the manipulation. People don't understand where narcissism tends to come from is not being taught empathy and a very low self-esteem. When a person is narcissistic in nature, they grow up and they're taught only thinking of themselves. And they're not taught not everybody is born or possesses the ability for empathy to put themselves in another person's shoes. We've got a 5-year-old that's out here missing. From the very beginning, these parents were speaking about Summer in past tense, which is a red flag. We've seen no tears except in this fake phone call / charade that was put on for the public to try to humiliate Chris McDonough and a few other people out there. No public denial of having caused harm in some way to their daughter. Predatory family members, registered sex offenders, et cetera, et cetera. In saying all that, this in all the years of doing this, have you ever seen anything like this, Belinda?
I have not. I have not.
I mean, even Drew Peterson didn't go that far.
And we've done a lot of missing person cases.
Right. Drew Peterson put on a show every time he got in front of the cameras, you know, was all about him. And we're seeing similar behaviors. But the fact remains here that I've never seen anything like this. And it's a huge red flag. Now, a long time ago in our group, Angie brought up the red barrel back in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
When Summer first went missing, she said, look, here's a video, a TikTok video, and there's Summer dancing in the rain, and look at that red barrel. And on the red barrel, it said for sale.
Right.
You know, again, we still, as the public, we don't know if these parents were involved in the disappearance of their daughter or not. We don't know. That's for a court to stop.
I'm gonna go out on a limb on that one. And I'm just gonna change what I've said before, you know. I felt bad for these parents if they are innocent, and here everybody's accusing them, but I'm telling you, it sure looks like it looks like they're involved. I mean, everything that's came out, everything that they have said, all these red flags, and it looks like it was staged. It looks like their whole thing was staged. And I'm sorry, I don't.
Let's just put out this other scenario. Okay, so you have someone on the property that doesn't belong there. Driving, how does a person drive two different vehicles? Good question. You have someone on the property who has a blue Chevy S10. You got mom that has a mysterious time lapse when it comes to when her child goes missing, but she can remember everything she did that whole day.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back and I looked at the video of Candace and Don Wells, their first long interview. But this is what I did, and I recommend that a lot of people do this. Slow down the speed of the video and watch their behaviors. Interesting to say the least. There's a lot of lip licking, sorry. Lip licking, swallowing, closing their eyes, shaking their head no when it's inappropriate. They're very subtle things. One thing that really stands out to me personally is when Candace said she walked Summer over to the house. I'm not buying it. Not at all. Now,
Yeah, I think she's making it like she never took her eyes off of her. She was the greatest mom ever, and that's what I take it. She's painting this picture, but then all of a sudden she goes in the house, she goes to play, and memory lapse.
right.
I washed clothes, really.
And she says, if you pay very close attention to that slow speed, she says, I came back 2 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
It's very subtle. But, you know, I'm not saying, again, I'm putting this disclaimer out there, all persons discussed are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We're not accusing anyone. I'm saying it's very suspicious behavior.
Well, it is.
The no tears is very suspicious behavior. The timeline is very suspicious behavior. The history. So taking everything into consideration with these parents, looking at them, looking at their families, looking at that TikTok video. Was Summer put up for sale? Or perhaps was mom out running?
Mm-hmm.
not there.
Just what was she running, right?
Right. What was she running? That's the question. Is
Well,
it-
I'm saying that all sounded like it was already staged, like they already knew what they were gonna say. It does look suspicious. And if it wasn't, they make it seem like it is. I'm just saying what it
Yes,
looks
they
like.
make it look
Yeah.
like it was a setup. The way
Mhm.
they talk, the way Don is even admitted to going on Google and looking up answers on YouTube. When your child goes missing, you shouldn't have to search for answers.
That's right.
Okay. That doesn't mean that they did anything. They could be innocent and just total freaking wackadoodles.
Yeah, but at some
Pass
point,
the polygraph.
at some point, she hasn't been found. And I have not heard them say, I miss my baby. And oh my God, I'm so worried about where she's at. And I hope she's being taken care of. And I,
Crying, showing any
you
kind
know,
of real emotion for
is
this
she
child.
cold? Is she being hurt? Is she being whatever the case may be?
And you know yourself, when your child goes missing, you know, a million things run through your mind. You replay every scenario.
I can't even say how many times I
Don't
said,
stop
I
looking.
just want her home. I just want her home. I haven't heard them say any of that.
When every mother that you've dealt with up to this point, when their child goes missing, what are they doing?
Oh man, well, it depends. Some of them's out there searching. Some of them, they're all calling for help. I mean, please help, please help.
Begging, pleading.
Yeah,
They're not skillfully trying to discern who they should let help and who they shouldn't let help. Mothers that are truly missing a child, parents that are truly missing a child, they're begging everyone, pleading, help me, help me, help me. And you don't see that with this family. Now it's interesting. Okay, you talked about a plan. And I want to talk about, again, Heather Smith, the message I got from Heather Smith. And I'm going to read it again. Okay. It's the message we got on YouTube. And I think people really need to pay attention to this. Parents and child protection agencies are guilty. Let's stop being cowed by our concerns of semantics or liability. There is no such thing as luck. People cultivate circumstances and or conditions of luck, good or bad. Good fortune or luck is a consequence of our own efforts. Interesting that they claim the efforts of good fortune. Okay. And then they continue. By the same cliche, the reverse is also true. That is what is obvious in the circumstances surrounding Summer Moon Blywell's disappearance. Now, saying that they didn't take care of this child, so, something happened to her. So this person's claiming responsibility for owning good luck. They say by their own efforts. It's very interesting. So they're claiming ownership over their own efforts of good fortune, and then saying that Summer didn't have good fortune, but had bad fortune because her parents didn't protect her. Okay. He continues. Mr. Heather Smith continues. Summer's story / life is no accident. So right there, not an accident. This was planned. It says life is no accident as a drunk driver crashing or killing or maiming others or himself. You just gave yourself away, sir. Is also not an accident. So what he's saying is Summer's story is no accident. So a drunk driver crashing into somebody is not an accident because that person obviously got drunk, took it upon themselves to get behind the wheel of a car and went out and killed somebody. But he's saying that Summer's life is no accident either, meaning that this was foreseeable. Okay. And he says, I really feel a rightness to keep it, so feels justified or correct in keeping this basic rule of accountability central in this investigation out of respect and atonement. I'm curious, okay, so if this person has nothing to do with this, what are they atoning for? And he says, for the dismal failure to our vulnerable dependents. So he's claiming ownership and claiming the need for atonement, which is fascinating. The parents / guardians of Summer sent out an open invitation to all, and collectively we enabled them, turning a blind eye by failing to act ASAP. So right there, you know, was it because of the video with the for sale sign? So if this is a planned event, somebody who may have seen the video, may or may not have, this person claiming ownership and the need for atonement, which is interesting. Then he continues, he says, once gone, twice shy is another admonishment. Okay, so Rose Bly is gone. Candace's 2 older children were taken away. Don's older children are no longer a factor in his life. Supposedly, he had, according to his ex, had taken these children to a dope dealer and supposedly tried to sell his kids for dope. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It's just what's out there in the public.
Yeah, told.
But this person writing this message says, once gone, twice shy is another admonishment. The children that came after the first 2 were removed should have never been left in the care of Candace, Don, or their parents, whom either engaged in abuse or failed to report or obstructed. How does this person know this? Is there a possibility that Heather Smith, aka someone who may have Summer, knows the Wells, knew them as a carny, knew them before, someone very intelligent, someone who reads Shakespeare, reads books, et cetera, et cetera. And again, he says, I will not close with a platitude or a flat statement, such as rest, baby girl, rest now in peace, though I have that emotion in spades, meaning he's wanting her to rest, wanting her to be gone.
Right.
Because I know, quote unquote, because I know Summer ain't at peace yet, meaning she's still alive. She's stomping around trying to raise hell, busting out of her traces. That means trying to escape, just like that runaway plow horse. Now, the runaway plow horse from The Taming of the Shrew, it could be the horse referring to that ran past the police. It could be, you know,
Yeah.
it could be the Amish plow horse from Henryville. Amish being the clue. But clearly, Heather Smith, Mr. Heather Smith, believes that this was not a matter of luck, but a planned event. Was it a planned event? You know, Don said he's starting to believe that it had something to do with the TikTok video. Is that a Freudian slip?
It's very possible.
I mean, you have to wonder, why was she in a TikTok video with
And everybody watched the video. Maybe
a big red for sale barrel?
maybe someone messaged and gave them an offer. I don't know. I'm speculating here.
Speculation if the child was put up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's speculation there.
Right.
This person on the other end is claiming responsibility, claiming the need for atonement, claiming that Summer at the time of the message was alive and that she's trying to break free and escape. It's interesting. You know, we talked before about a specific book hound.
Yeah.
Who's still on the radar. I find it, okay, so we're moving away a little bit from the parents, just a little bit. Moving away from the parents to someone who's very intelligent, who studies Shakespeare, someone who would write a message, who would take the time to construct this very specific message. Someone with a lot of time on her hands, maybe likes to camp outside, someone who's self-sufficient, someone who has pink dog food in the back of their truck, and a beagle stuffed animal. I mean, why would this person need a stuffed beagle puppy in the back of their vehicle? Why would this person need to shave their head and eyebrows? Yeah. Now, you know, gas can, garden hose. Oh, by the way, what was it? What else was it in the psychic reading? Food. What is it? The survival food. Yeah. Any thoughts, Belinda?
Things that make you say, I don't know.
We did this psychic reading. We saw what we saw. And then today we were presented with a video with some pictures. Like, holy cow.
I was blown away. I was completely taken back.
Yeah. You know, scary thing. Why would somebody take peanut butter to a tree? Attract a bear?
Yeah, that's about the only.
On for their own amusement? Why would somebody who's an older man, I mean, maybe that person likes stuffed animals? Doubt it, but why would a stuffed animal be in the back of their truck?
I mean,
out on a camping trip?
Especially for someone that really likes animals and puppies and is missing now.
Mm-hmm. You know, okay, so let's just throw this out there. This person that was on the property, who purchased property, had been out there months earlier. What if they put up trail cameras, or maybe Zoom cameras, or, you know, one of the neighbors said you could hear the kids. You could hear the kids up playing, laughing.
Yeah, you would have to
live further away.
Yeah, because they're up on a hill. Of course, you're going to be able to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are loud, especially when they're having fun.
So, okay, let's just talk about the footprints. Now, obviously, summer scent is going to be all over that property.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been no mention of cadaver dogs finding any hit or having any hits on the property. According to Dave Rader, you know, the dog came down the driveway, went out into across the property, turned around and came back, and then was gone. The dog stopped right there. The trail ended right there. Why do you think that is? I mean, assuming she got into a car.
Either she got in a car or she was picked up.
Got into a vehicle, or she was picked up and carried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Either or, that's about the only two things that could have happened.
Now here's something, you know, a new Subaru, it's probably got a tracking device on it.
Mhm.
If Don's driving that new Subaru, man, he was at work in Rogersville, which is 40 minutes away. You know, they've got him tracked at this point. They know what his timeline is.
Right.
Now, Candace, interestingly enough, if she's around that specific area, you know, but psychically, when I'm remote viewing, I don't see her on the property. But that doesn't mean, you know, maybe she did. Maybe she ran to the store. Maybe she ran to do, for all I know, a deal. I don't know what kind of deal. Maybe she ran to get more smokes. Who knows? I'm just talking about what happened in my mind. It doesn't mean it's accurate. I can be wrong. But something took place in that time frame, the elusive 3 hours that so conveniently can't be remembered, but Don chooses the word satisfied.
Yeah.
And maybe they had something for lunch. Maybe. And Candace chooses the words, well, we do what we did what people do. Well, what does that entail? Lot to cover, but here's a scenario that I haven't thrown out there just yet. What if this specific person who owns the maroon Toyota Tacoma was there, and that for sale sign was for real? And then a squabble ensued. And the person, if in fact Summer was traded or sold off, said, I'm not bringing her back. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, especially when they had knowledge of it. It's kind of hard.
If that's what happened.
If it was me and something, God forbid, I'd come clean. If I'd done something stupid.
How many parents have we seen that sell their children for sex?
Yeah.
For money.
What happens? What happens?
I mean, hell, in one certain specific state in the United States, you know, 12 years old, they marry them off, trade them off, whatever.
Right.
There's so many different moms raising the kids in a lot of polygamous families. They just switch them.
Mhm.
If they think a wife is leaving or a daughter's leaving or a sister's leaving, they'll take their kids and put them with another family. It's insane, but it happens all the time. It's just like human trafficking, you know, it's so prevalent in this country and everybody sees all these missing kids. But what a lot of them don't realize is human trafficking can happen right out of your own home.
Mhm.
These people will start to manipulate your children and tell them, oh, we'll kill your whole family if you don't do what we say. That kid could be waking up in the morning, going to school, saying that they're hanging out with their friends, you know, and then coming home, and you don't ever realize that anything's going on with them. In the meantime, they're being pimped out.
Mhm.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, these days you can't trust no one.
Right. So if there was ever a scenario where this child was sold, not saying she was, because I don't know, but if she was ever sold by the parents, you know, for a short purpose, and then the person came back and stood up, so sorry, so sad, you're out of luck. There's something else I want to bring up too. Now, these are just scenarios. We don't know what happened to this child, obviously. Just a case discussion. Again, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I don't know if the parents had anything to do with it. I don't know if the, creepy neighbor had anything to do with it. Mr. Shakespeare, whomever. That said, okay, so let's moving on. Get off that topic for a second. Get back to Summer's shaved head. In a lot of these types of cases, children will often try to change their appearance. Now, little kids, they'll try to put on extra clothing, hide, do things to change your appearance. Some little kids will cut their hair or shave their head or try to, clip. It's usually the scissors right across the bangs, or back here, a chunk on a side chunk. And then somebody catches them and it's like, oh my God, what did you do? And it is natural for little kids to want to try to cut their hair. Little kids do that. Keep scissors put up. But the thought occurred to me that what if this child wanted to look like a boy because she didn't want to be a little girl? She didn't want to be the only one, the only little girl. Then the other thought crossed my mind that in a Munchausen by proxy scenario, what if there's jealousy there? With Dawn spending so much affection, attention, whether appropriate or inappropriate, on his child. I mean, a shaved head would certainly make the child less appealing. It's just a thought. Right now, what my gut tells me is, sadly, poor Summer was surrounded by sharks.
Yeah.
Bears, coyotes, snakes, spiders, all kinds of creepy, crawly things. People that should have been looking out for this poor child with no tears or sorrow in their souls. Now, the other day, I got really very angry because I received that message. I want to apologize to my viewers, our viewers. It's not my place to judge somebody. I get angry because I'm trying to protect children. I'm trying to protect this child, stop future predatory behavior. But not only that, these people that are doing this, they don't realize what they're condemning themselves to in the future. And rather than be angry, it genuinely is a tragedy. I mean, burning in hell is a fitting punishment. Now, I'm not going to question God on that. But my judgment of them is not accurate, and I shouldn't judge. Because I don't know what's in their heart. That's for God. That's not for me. So I just want to apologize for my temper. Again, I don't have the grace that Belinda has.
Oh no, I've been pretty emotional here. Case is really
can't help
really
it.
takes a toll. It takes a toll on you because you got a little 5-year-old innocent baby that's disappeared without a trace. We know someone knows something.
Where are the people that care for this child? All these people that are out here on the internet fighting with each other.
Yeah,
It's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible. It is doing absolutely no good for this child to have all of the public. And it is very emotional. And I say this because I've been emotionally affected
Mhm.
affected by the disappearance of every child, every person that I've
Right.
met. It takes an emotional toll. I had a friend, Shelley, Belinda and I have had this friend. She did this work for 25 years and she told me something. She said, I can't do it anymore. I'm exhausted. And she said, it occurred to me that you could set this down for 2 years and come back 2 years later. And sadly, there will always be another case. When is it ever going to end? And in the past couple of years, Belinda and I have slowed down. We're getting older physically. I'm not young. I'm crippled. And
Well, mentally, it takes a toll on you,
mentally,
you know,
mentally,
threatening.
it does. If it affects me and it affects you in the way that it does, why in the hell aren't these parents affected?
Right. I don't understand. It
Drugs?
has to be something that's soothing that
Is it
pain. I don't know.
You have to ask, is it guilt? Did they sell their child? Did they off their child? I mean, they've been accused from the very beginning, and I have yet to see a public denial.
Right. I haven't seen one either.
Huge red flags.
Haven't really seen any pleas either. I mean, that's just, I don't know. It's insane.
No pleas. Normally, a parent gets on the news, on television, especially because you and I both know that there are so many missing and murdered people that never make the news. There are marginalized categories. There are, African American is the community generally you hardly ever see anything put on the news, which is tragic and disgusting. Worked a lot of cases, but most of them don't ever make it to the news. The news is a business, and they want cases that will get them views and money, just like a lot of these YouTubers, which is why Belinda and I don't do this for money. I'm not taking anything away from search and rescue recovery. Yes, they absolutely need money. You need to send money into search. You need to send money into search and rescue recovery. If you've got one in your local neighborhood, yeah. Police departments, they always need cash. That's not taken away from anybody that's trying to search for these victims. It's the problem I have, and I've had since this case began, and with many other cases, this. I mean, the cockroaches come out of the woodwork to exploit the missing and their families and make a profit. It's disturbing, to say the least, how anybody can live with themselves. Now,
no clue.
To me, murder isn't entertainment. I don't think murder should ever be considered entertainment. You see what's on TV, all the Hollywood shows and everything. We are talking about lives lost, families destroyed, people torn apart. I'm going to talk about marginalized categories for just a minute, okay? We're talking about street workers. Illegal immigrants, people that are so-called not missed. Let me just say this about sex workers in the sex industry. A lot of people don't realize and understand this, but like 99% of sex workers were sexually abused. A lot of them, when they get older, they'll start on drugs and then they'll go from there. but it generally starts out from sexual abuse, low self-esteem. They end up into drugs, they end up on the streets, they end up selling their bodies. They already have no self-worth when they get into this. So when you're talking about a marginalized category of a sex industry worker, you're talking about somebody who's already been abused, who already has self-esteem in the toilet. And then you've got these idiots out there, these mindless monsters who want to re-victimize them. And then you've got the news media who wants to re-victimize them. The people in the media that put out these stereotypes that these people are worthless. That is none of which is what is true. Now, I'm not saying they're not without problems, but when a person goes missing, you got to know that in every single case, someone once loved that person. And that person is a victim, regardless of their trade, their age, their color. The person's a victim. That's why I don't ever blame the victim.
And most of them have children. So
Yeah.
they're leaving so many behind.
And we're talking about specifically murder victims in particular, but murder's not entertainment.
Yeah, it's not. There's so much pain attached to it.
We're talking about
Everyone's left behind.
the horrors of human trafficking. A lot of the women that are out on the street have been found beaten, tortured, shown what's going to happen to them if they don't cooperate. And these people that are profiteering off of any of it are all going to burn in hell. And it's not something I should get angry about. In fact, I should pray for them because they're sentencing themselves to eternal flame. Yeah. I'm not God. I'm not their judge. But when a 5-year-old goes missing and you got parents playing pranks, more concerned with their public persona than they are about their missing 5-year-old, it's absolutely disgusting. Rightfully, their children were taken out of the home, their remaining children. Anybody with any common sense can look at that house, look at that home, and see the dangers.
Right.
Now, I've held back a lot of my thoughts and opinions on Candace and Don because I've tried every possible way to rule them out. And I can't.
Right.
I've tried in every possible way to rule out the creepy neighbor, and I can't. There are a lot of possibilities in this case, but it's up for the TBI and the FBI to figure it out.
Well, and they know a lot more than we know.
Absolutely.
You know, they have the locations of where people were and what they were doing, and we don't know that. We're
Who
just
they
speculating.
knew in their past. You know, the pictures that I've seen today in these videos, you pay real close attention to the one that has the property up on the wall and the map. Pink and white dog food in the back, and you know, a little beagle stuffed animal.
On the one video, his hand was wrapped up.
Yep,
Exactly how you saw.
and wrapped.
I mean, that stuff is just not. It's
Psychic
just not something you can, make up. You just can't make it up.
hose in the back.
Those things you can't.
Or gray interior, but beige. Holy cow. But that begs the question, if that specific person was driving the blue truck, who was driving the red one?
Mm-hmm.
And you brought that up today. Had to be two people.
Yep.
Hence the notice from TBI and the FBI. Have you seen this red truck in the area?
I don't know. It's so depressing.
Well, the odds of this child coming back alive at this point are pretty slim.
Oh yeah, it's slim. And every day as the days go by,
There have been cases, I don't want to give up hope.
there has.
There have been cases, you could hope that this child was taken, say by a woman in a bathroom in Sevierville. You can hope that.
Right.
You can hope that she was taken to be loved and cared for, because obviously her parents didn't. The odds of that happening are slim.
Right.
Maybe 10 years later or 6 months later, somebody claiming responsibility for this will get caught with Summer. It has happened. J.C. Dugard and Elizabeth Smart,
Mm-hmm.
and a few other people. I just pray to God that
But I think this is something that the
Someone
parents should be speaking on. I think they should be the one that's saying, we have that little bitty mustard seed of hope that she's still alive, that she's still with us here, and one day she's going to come home. And
I
I don't
mean,
know.
look, that Candace shot Don when he mentioned dead. She just went.
But
But
that could just be because she wasn't expecting him to just out it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And see, I don't like to be like this because
I know.
but I'm very angry. I'm angry just at the way that they're acting.
Angry at the way that, how
I think
dare
it's so childish, and the way that they're acting, and they're taking away. They want to say how the sister was getting all this attention, taking it away from Summer. No, I'm sorry. They're the ones that's taking it away from Summer.
Well, and for Don to blame a 5-year-old for initiating it.
Whoever heard of that, let's play the blame game. Let's blame a 5-year-old.
Well, yeah. that is coming from a predator.
Yeah.
That is typical predator behavior.
I think I'll just say that it was her idea. Okay.
Well, okay. And then it's very telling, when he says, well, she tried to sleep with her own father or something to that effect. Now, a certain person twisted it to say that she was like 5 years old. No, this happened supposedly when she was older. Even I understood what Don was saying. Not 5, though.
Yeah.
Come on. Get real. I mean, Don Wells is so full of crap. His eyes are brown. And I mean,
I can see everybody throwing him under the bus too. I can really see that, because the stuff that he is putting out there makes you want to, it would make you want to turn him in, because it's just not the average person, it's not the average person's mindset. Here you got your baby missing, and what the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm
Playing
aggravated.
games, playing games, acting.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even.
You know, and people say, well, it can't be Candace and Don, they're really stupid. I mean, Gary Ridgway had what, an IQ of 72, and he got away with killing lots of women. He wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but Ted Bundy was caught before him.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you,
He was good at serial killing.
but we all know that they've been watching YouTube and Googling a whole lot.
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah, because every time we pose a question, they post the answer.
mhm,
That in itself is telling. You know, it's a chameleon.
mhm.
How does a narcissist manipulate and change the narrative?
Yep.
Poor Summer. God, I pray this baby, no matter what, her suffering stops or has stopped. You know, terrible, terrible, terrible,
I
terrible.
mean, she's got a lot of people that are praying for this baby to come home. I mean,
Somebody brought up an interesting point. Now Hunter said
mhm.
in his interview with Chris McDonough that they put a pillow under Summer because, and I think Candace said something similar.
Because the grandma didn't want her.
Grandma didn't want. Okay, but if you look at the picture with the milk jug, oh, she's not sitting on a pillow. Now, if you zoom in on it, you can see that her pants are wet. Interestingly, I looked closer at her finger, her nail beds. They look either really dirty or cyanotic right around the ends. Now, if you're looking at my nail beds right here,
Uh-huh.
you don't have those marks. It could be dirt from the lake or it could be cyanotic. Now, her lips look pink and moist, and her skin tone and color and everything on her face looks normal to me. But her nail beds don't when you zoom in. But she doesn't look deceased to me in the picture.
Right.
She looks alive and well.
I mean, even if that was the case, because they were saying dry drowning and all of that, if she did go under the water and that did happen, I can see him kind of freaking out for a day or two, and maybe going and I can't say a day and two. I didn't mean to say a day or two. I could see that they would freak out and try and plan something to get, but I can't see them following through and continuing it.
Right.
I can't see it. But then again, something's up.
Yeah.
Something's up.
Yeah, their behavior is not normal at all.
Not even drugs.
Not even remotely normal.
Yeah.
I've known a lot of people that have abused drugs, and let me tell you, they don't act like that.
No. Nope.
Now I've known
No excuse.
I've known some others who were absolutely horrific and didn't deserve to have children. Children are not commodities. That's no different than hit. Well, I'm not gonna go there.
I know I've said a lot
Go
that I
on.
shouldn't have said.
Not gonna go there.
I'm really frustrated.
And keep my mouth shut.
I'm really frustrated.
Yeah. There's another point that I was going to make too, and now it's just steadily went poosh.
Could have come back.
Yeah. Anyway, surrounding this mysterious disappearance of Summer. Oh, there we go. So on Predator Hunters, supposedly an Amish man claimed responsibility for taking Summer and said that he had put her in a river. And they were going down there to search the river where, you know, he said that he had put her. I don't know how an Amish man. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine on that one.
I mean, some of them drive cars, but who knows?
You know, it's interesting in your reading. You know, we saw the picture now, but you got the pink dog food, the pink dog, and there's the pink and white bag of dog food. If you go back in the beginning in the videos when I was talking about it, it just popped into my head that, you know, what if this person fed these dogs? It doesn't mean, you know, this is a wild pack of dogs. They're not tethered. There's no chains there. You know, if somebody's got a dog and they just bring up a bag of dog food and pour it out, I mean, hell, easy access.
Yep. Keep the dog busy.
Oh yeah, let's just feed them. If you got a bigger dog and, you know, there's no fear there.
Yeah, and you're feeding them, and then you get to know them.
Well, especially peanut butter, you know, not just a treat for bears, but dogs love peanut butter.
Yeah, they love it.
I mean, you know, if this person is the same person as Heather Smith, makes a lot of sense.
You know, I can look back on cases that we've worked, and we just sit around and discuss the stuff, like basically like we're doing right now. Of course, right now we're kind of trying to pull back a little bit and not really say too much, but and then the case plays out.
Yeah.
And we both just sit there like,
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's about how I was when you when you were showing me those pictures. I was just blown away.
Yeah. I mean, psychically, it's right brain information. It just flies in. It's not. And that's why one of the reasons why we don't generally work on cases that are all out there in the media, because you get front loaded.
Yeah, you already know the stuff, so you can't say it.
Well, in this case, we didn't know this yet.
Right.
But it becomes very difficult because your analytical side of your brain, your left brain, takes over. So it's better to always, if you can, work a case raw.
Yeah, right from the start.
When all you have is a name or a number, you know, somebody will repeat a number to you over and over and over. And then you just, you know, whatever comes into your mind, you sketch it out or write it out or whatever. Then you know that that information is going to be accurate. Now it's either going to be right or it's going to be wrong, but it becomes pretty clear really quickly if you're on the right track.
Right.
And that's the way it works with psychics who have done this real type of work. If you're getting information for a specific case, you'll know right away if you're on the right track, because all the information is raw. You're not given any information up front. You know, sometimes you'll just get a first name and an area, and you just start writing and sketching. And, you know, with a case like Summers or somebody that's really out there in the media, you don't want to look up that information. You want to get everything raw. And it's difficult when you know things in advance.
Right.
To work psychically. God, I hate that word. Psychic. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Ugh. The connotation surrounding it is, you know, you're reading a crystal ball. Yeah, no, that's not how it works, folks. And I can't pick lottery numbers either. If I could, I wouldn't be living in a shack. Just saying.
Right.
Oh, well, maybe I would. I'd probably give most of my money away. Anyway. All right, Belinda, I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's getting late. You have somewhere you have to be, and I have somewhere I have to be in the morning. Well, it's already morning. Late. I think we're gonna wrap it up for tonight, folks. Again, anyone we've discussed is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. You know, we're just guessing, sort of.
Oh, yeah. And it's just our opinions, you know.
It's our opinions. You can take them at face
We're,
value.
we're human right now. I mean, it's a stressful day. You listen to all the stuff going on the internet, and it just makes you mad and keeps our emotions going.
Yeah, and in all honesty, you know, everybody fighting out there over Summer's case,
Mhm.
it helps zero.
Right.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
get involved in that kind of
Takes the
crap.
focus off for her.
Right, and as always, you know, if you have any information about Summer's case, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND or 1-800-THE-LOST. If you know something, please turn it in. Pray for this poor girl. Join us in praying for this poor girl and her brothers and her family that love her. Okay.
Amen.
All right, folks. Good night. Y'all have a great, or should I say,
Right.
morning. Have a good day. Bye-bye.